So let's get this going. Welcome everyone to the Team Fit to Love weekly team call. It is February 7th and this year is rocking and rolling. We're going to do a whole bunch of great stuff on tonight's call. I'm really excited to share with you. The goals of tonight's call are twofold. Number one is to teach you a strategy that's been working for me on some mindset work. And number two is to invite you to do a challenge. It's a 2-week challenge about connecting and growing with your business. And so we'll be covering both of those things tonight. If you missed it in, gosh, where was it? Maybe in the Body Coach Basics group, or else in the Coach 411 group, there was a training this week by someone, and they were talking about all the rollouts with Body and the fact that like on February 9th, which is like 2 days from now, our app should look different. You should see the body blocks should actually it should show you like the options for the body blocks at the top. There won't be workouts in there yet. If people don't have Body as part of their subscription, their app will not update to that. So like people are going to have different looking apps. If I'm being honest, I listened to the training on my way home from work, and so I didn't take any notes. I can't like regurgitate all of it. A lot of it felt like things that I kind of like was somewhat familiar with, but in case you missed it, there was a training. In other news, Lacey Green's sample workout, I believe, comes out on the 9th as well. So in 2 days from now. And that program, I believe there's a toolkit right now for us too. I haven't checked it out, but the idea of that program is that it's supposed to be amazing for beginners. It's called For Beginners Only, I believe, and it's going to live as one of the body blocks like for forever. And so it would be like a place where when people start, they could start with that program. I'm always personally a big fan of those programs because I was a person when I started this journey that fitness really intimidated me, like completely intimidated me. And so anytime we have a program that seems doable for beginners, I always view it as something that a lot of people might feel they can connect with. And so just know that sample workout is coming available. You can do with that what you want, get people to try it, do a live sample workout with people, whatever you choose to do with that, but that resource is there for you to grow your business. And so in other news, I thought I'd get started by talking to you about like me, because I love my team calls. When I lead the team calls, just talk about me a little bit. So I know some of you know this and some of you don't, but essentially I have really flipped the script on what I'm doing in the new year for my nutrition, and it's really working for me. And so I want to talk about that, but really my bigger thing is I want to talk about the power of working on your mindset. So you guys have been on this journey. I did a team call with you last year where I think I was very vulnerable at one point, said nutrition is a really hard area for me. So last year I did a lot of things. I went to therapy trying to work on this. I went to I read a book called, I found this binge eating book I told you guys about, Brain Over Binge. It really like was life-changing for me, got me to think about your brain research and how that impacts what you're capable of. And then I read the Intuitive Eating book, which I had a hard time with on some level because it's really in opposition to a lot of what we do at Beachbody in terms of like having any sort of regimen or plan to how you're doing nutrition. I love you, baby. Good night. So I did all those things, and then I stumbled across a Moira Kusawa podcast with a weight loss coach who is not a Beachbody person, so non-Beachbody. And I started listening to her, and I really enjoyed and appreciated what she had to say. And I said, you know what? I'm gonna try the things this lady's saying. And at first I struggled because I was like, but it's not Beachbody and I want to be doing Beachbody. And then I realized, like, you know, marriage therapists, if their marriage is struggling, like, they they get help. Like, they go to a therapist who's going to help them. And so I realized, like, I needed some help, and so I leaned into what this woman talks about. And what I really love about what I'm doing right now is she doesn't tell you what to eat, or she doesn't tell you what um, it's nothing like what we have in Beachbody. It's just a lot more mindset based. It's a lot more mindset based. So, like, the foundations of what I'm doing, I'm using all my Beachbody things. The thing I'm really letting go of is the food list. If I'm being honest, like, I think the list kept me very much like feeling like I was on track or off track. And so, like, I know the list very well, and so I know what, like, good healthy foods are, and so I feel very confident there. Um, but I think for me, I was really struggling with, like, I would eat pizza and then that wasn't really on the list. Like, I know we say it can be on the list, but it wasn't really on the list. And so I just had a hard time with all that. So I'm planning my food every day, and I'm journaling a little bit, and I am documenting what I actually eat if I go, off what I said. So it's like it's very things in line with what we do. Like everyone's planning their food, so I'm still doing that. I'm just dropping some of the like it has to be on one of the lists, even though that never was the rule. That just really was messy. That never was the rule. I want to be clear. This is something that I determined was the rule, and it's been messing me up. So anyway, that's kind of what I'm doing. So the basics are, like, I make a plan. I wait until I'm hungry to eat. I stop when I've had enough. Like, so don't overfill yourself, and get sleep and drink water. But it actually makes me laugh. She says drink 64 ounces of water. I'm like, is this like 20 years ago? I'm like, I was still drinking 64 ounces of water, but whatever. So that is what I'm doing. And so in this, I find that, like, everything from Beachbody supports me so much because I do know right, because I do know, like, what healthy eating is because of what I've done with Beachbody, that I really don't. I started the journey feeling like I was doing something different, and now I don't really feel like I'm feeling like I'm finally getting the tools I needed to access our tools fully. Like, that's kind of what I'm getting. Um so anyways, there's one thing. Oh, you're welcome, Lori. So well, and I wanted you guys, if you saw my post, to kind of know what's going. It's nothing crazy going on, but what I realized is that the mindset work I needed, I wasn't finding enough of in our programs. And so, which is literally why I got a therapist last year. Like I knew this was the missing piece. And this woman happens to be a life coach, which really resonates with me too. There's a lot of vibes there that I like. So the thing that I want to bring to you, that I have learned from this, and I actually have kind of changed it to make it my own, is a reflection sheet. So she has us, when you do something, when you, like, eat off plan, or you have a negative thought, or like you're thinking about the scale, like you're feeling like the scale's controlling you or whatever, she has this process for you to um reflect. And so I have found this process to be extremely positive. And the truth of the matter is it can work for any area of your life. Like, it's not nutrition based. It could help you with, your marriage, if you need that, or it could help you with your business. And honestly, when I brought this to you guys tonight, I was really thinking about your businesses, because I think that all of us have some limiting beliefs that hold us back from our growth. That's truly what kind of led me to this place. And I was on a coach call with a coach last night, and I shared this with her. And at the end, I'm like, what do you think? And she's like, I love this. She's like, because I know the thing getting in the way is me. She's like, I love this. And so I'm hoping that in sharing this, if this tool resonates with you, you'll maybe print off a few of these and try to use this when you realize that you're having a thought that is not serving you. Any sort of thought, but I literally was thinking about business. So I put in the Success Club thread, I put the 2 links that we're going to use tonight. And so if you want to open it, you can. It's the reflection worksheet one. Can you guys open that? It's the first one I sent. Yeah? Okay. Is it okay if I don't show it on the screen then? I'll just talk it through. All right. So like in order to use this worksheet, the first thing you need to do is like recognize whatever thought it is you're having that you don't necessarily think is benefiting you. Okay. So it just starts there. Like if you can't even identify what your thought is, like can't do this. But the thought I realized I was having. So last night, the person I was talking to told me I don't even have a business. Like there's someone who's been coaching for a while, and their statement was, I don't have a business. And I was like, okay, let's unpack that. So that was her thought that's not serving her. She does have a business. She's listed as a coach, just to be clear, like in Beachbody. So she is a Beachbody coach. And then the next part of this worksheet is, I really like this because you're honoring how you're feeling right now. It says, I recognize that this makes sense because. So this is where you're really giving all those reasons why you're having this thought and just being honest about it. So for this person, it was like, I haven't made any money. I haven't signed a new person since blank. My only coach is my husband, and I can't remember all the details, but it was the facts, right? Like I'm paying money for my product and I wanted it paid for and that hasn't happened or what, like, so it was like the, I don't like the word facts there. It was the all the things you're seeing that is leading you to that place and just honoring them. These are what you're seeing. But then the next part, and this is the part that can get tricky, is what is the reality? Okay? And so maybe in the one above when it said maybe the person says, no one is inspired by me or something, whatever. Like maybe that was part of why they said they don't even have a business or whatever. In the reality piece, you only put down facts and no emotions. So like the facts would be, yeah, there you go. The facts would be, Beachbody sees me as a coach. Like all it takes to have a business with this is to have a coach status. Like these are the facts, right? Like I show up on social media every day. Like that's a fact. So like you're coming up with the facts of why it is true and you're taking out the emotions. Like no emotions, just what are the facts to the situation? And so I really like that balance because to me, I like that it honors like where this is coming from, and you really have that moment to say, okay, why does this make sense for me to feel this crappy? Because it does make sense. So often we tell ourselves these negative things that are in our head are somehow like bad or wrong. And I feel like I have done so much PD over the years that I know my mindset matters. Like I know that. But what I haven't gotten is many concrete things that have helped me to actually change my mindset. And this process does that because I get to honor why I'm thinking that way, but then I get to honor what the reality is. And I really get to gut check myself and say, okay, what's the actual truth though? What's the actual reality? What are the facts here? So then the the fourth thing is that I want you to think of the version of you that has overcome this thought, that this doesn't exist in anymore. That person is thriving. That person is killing it. And sometimes it's hard to think about that person. And so this is a time when sometimes you have to borrow belief from even like you can think of another person. Like you could think of your upline coach. You could think of someone who really is always there for you, right? And will breathe some truth into you. And so I want you to think of that person, the best version of you who no longer feels that way. And what would that person say? Like how would they reframe this? And that's where sometimes borrowing the belief from another person might be what you need to do, because sometimes reaching for that future you is not the easiest. So think about that. And then after that, I want you to reword your original thought, but I want you to say it in a way that, is true, but makes you feel good. So in this example, like, I don't even have a business. Rewording it to I have a thriving business and I'm a crushing it coach, that doesn't even feel good. Like you can't go from I don't have a business to I'm a killer coach and thriving business. Like that's too big of a jump. That might have been the jump that your best version of you can say, but that might not be where you are. And so this fifth step is more about what is the next thing that could move you forward. It doesn't have to be that you change it all and you have overcome your mindset. It's coming up with a better version of that original thought that feels true and honors how you feel. Okay? So I was talking with this coach last night. I'm like, maybe your new thought is, even though my business isn't where I want it to be, I know I'm going to figure it out. Like that feels 1 billion times better than I don't have a business. Right? And it's not creating some BS lie that is not the truth. It's still honoring, and I'm not saying this statement always has to honor the you're not there yet part of it, but if that's what you need to make this statement be true while also moving you forward, then that's good. It's okay. We don't have to. So much of the PD we get is really getting us to our optimal selves, but I have found that there seems to be stair steps in between that are missing. And for some people, they can build those stair steps without that there, but a lot of us need those steps to make it there. And so, that even though my business isn't where I want to be, I won't quit. Maybe 2 months down the road, that coach will not any longer think I don't have a business, but they'll be working on getting it to the next level. And they might come back and even want to rework this statement again. They might be in a different place, but it helps you work through it. And then the last one I think is essential. So you've done all this work. Like to me, the chapter is closed on doing the work around that thought when you get through 5. Number 6, though, is where I think some magic happens. And it's if I choose to learn from this, as opposed to feeling guilt and shame. So if I choose to not be upset about myself having this negative thought, or not replay it over and over, or to move forward with it, what are the rewards that I get to enjoy as a result of that? What do you get out of allowing yourself not to feel frustrated, guilty, shameful about these thoughts that we don't love about ourselves? We don't love that we have these negative thoughts. So this framework is super powerful, but I'll be honest, I think to do it justice, you need 15 minutes. You like this isn't like a 2-minute exercise. And in all honesty, it will feel hard in parts, okay? It won't just instantly, yes, yes, Lori. It won't instantly feel amazing when you do this, but it will help you move forward. And what I've noticed is if you get stuck somewhere, you can reach out. Like we now have on this call 6 people who are aware of this. So you could say, guys, I'm having this thought, and here's what I said so far, and I can't figure out what the best version of me would say. And let us help you. I can't figure out how to reword this. Even after looking through everything, thinking about it, I can't figure out a more positive rewording. And when you acknowledge that and you let us help you, then this, if you are getting stuck, you'll get better over time at using this resource. And so I just can't tell you enough. I've done about 4 of these in the last month, and it's really changed my thinking around my nutrition significantly. And there's one that I did one day that I just went ham on, and I filled a whole page. I just got it all freaking out. And it was just cathartic. It was good for my soul. It was motivating, and I improved in that area the next week. So I think the work that I did helped me. Hi guys. We're talking about here, let me get the link to it real quick. We're talking about a protocol that I've been using to work on some mindset stuff and the power of it. So before we move on to the challenge, to the Grow and Connect challenge and the details of that, I would love to hear from you guys after hearing about this protocol. What are your thoughts? Is this something that you can see yourself using, not using? Like, this is weird, wherever you're at, I just would love to hear what your current thoughts are.
I think it's a great tool, but then I have a roadblock of actually using it because that's just me. Because then I have to, like, the same with journaling. It's such a challenge because then I have to admit to my feelings. I can admit them in my head. I just can't get them out of there. So I feel like it's very hard, but that's just because of me and my personality.
No, that's totally okay. And you might find the funny part is I changed this from how she originally had it. I made it my own. And you might find if you try it, you need to make it your own. Do you know what I mean? What was that, Merritt?
Oh, I was just going to say the same thing as Amy did. I think it's a great tool, but when you sit down, when I sit down to try to answer these questions or put what I'm thinking on the piece of paper, it gets lost in translation. Like I can't get out what's happening in here on the paper. It's weird. I don't know. I mean, I did a journaling activity from our group the other day. And I mean, there was a prompt and everything. And I sat there for like 3 minutes and I'm like, okay, what do I want to write? What do I, like it's journaling is really hard for me.
Right.
Very,
right.
very hard. Yeah.
Michelle, were you going to say something?
I was just going to say that I like it because it helps put it in different perspectives. And kind of like you've been talking a lot about celebrating the things that you are doing over focusing so much on the things that you aren't doing or the things that aren't getting done. So many times I can get lost in the wormhole of negativity, focusing on what all I didn't have time for, didn't get to that day for my business, and it just drags me down. But then that energy translates on my social and it translates in my stories and it doesn't serve me. And especially on days that I get a lot of connecting done, even though I might not have invited, or a lot of inviting, but I didn't get a lot of connecting. I think it just helps with reframing that mindset around the lies that we end up telling ourselves because of this limiting beliefs that we may have.
Right. All right. Did anyone else want to share?
I was just going to say I watched a podcast the other day by I can't remember if it was a Daily J or just a podcast by Jay Shetty. I love him. And it talks a lot about self-efficacy.
Mhm.
And, you know, that ties into self-sabotage and, you know, not following through on things that you say you're going to do, even though it's on my to-do list. I see it every single day. So I like it. Thank you for sharing.
You're welcome. You're welcome. I would recommend, if you're going to use this, to print off a few and just have them nearby. Um, aw. And that way when you realize you do want to try this, it's like easy, you know, to take away the barriers from yourself. And Amy and Merritt, what you said is totally fine. So I hope I don't feel like I'm correcting or anything. But I will say, if this feels hard, like, on some level, it might be something worth leaning into from that perspective too. Like, if it's hard to get your thoughts out, but they're at the end of the day holding you back, then it's, you know, I like to say it's worthy work, right? And it doesn't have to be pretty or right or, you know, perfect, but the act itself, it's just, I mean, it's a muscle. It's mindset is a muscle. And so the more that we put ourselves in the positions where we are able to or willing to confront those you know, internal lies that we tell ourselves that seem so freaking true. It does put us in that position. So no pressure. No one has to use this. I do not plan on necessarily following up about this, but it's changing my life enough that I wanted you guys to have this resource. It also might be something you'll want with customers. That's the other thing. Someone who's repeatedly um you know, sabotaging themselves on the weekends, let's say, or the scale. Like, I got on the scale and I feel like, you know, I undid all my progress. Is that true? Let's go explore. Is it really true you undid all your progress? So, all right, that is the first thing that I wanted to share with you. So thank you for listening. The second thing is I wanted to invite you to do a 2-week challenge. And it was really interesting because as I was thinking about this challenge, I was challenged myself about how I thought this would go best for the team and be the most effective. And, you know, it's funny because, look at Lori. That was funny, Lori. I know your salad spinner. Oh look, it's telling me to upgrade. Nope, not upgrading this month. There, I put the second thing in the chat on here, and it's also in the SC Club. It's called the Connect and Grow Challenge. So here's the deal. Most of us, I think, want to be growing our following. And I think it feels hard, so we don't do it the way we should. And I was thinking about I could train them on ways to grow their following. And then I was like, I'm not really convinced that this group needs trained on how to do it. I think you need to do it. Like, you need to do the things. And so the things that are going to grow your following involve making a reel, and then people who like it, you connect with them, right? And you can use the tools on Instagram where you look up like a restaurant that you like and you go interact with people who like that restaurant. Or you can look at a vacation place you're going to and interact with people and be like, hey, I'm going to Orlando in June, starting to plan. What did you do there that you liked? Like, you can do all this thing. You can on Facebook join the group of the things that you're into, right? Like, I can join teacher groups and make some new teacher friends. I can friend all my friends, like, and see how that goes. I can do a lot of things to connect. I know I'm not even coming close to saying the gamut that we know. There's other ideas we know. But I was like, I don't think a training about connecting right now is what we need. I think we just need a reason to connect. So I came up with this idea. I'm hoping it will be something fun. It's actually inspired, like Kelly and I did not go over this together, but it's inspired by Kelly for me, because I was like, Kelly is having to regrow her entire network. Like, it is insane what she's doing. And she is leading like a freaking boss from the front. She had every reason, in my opinion, to say, like, I'm done. Like, this is too much. And she instead led like the leader I know she is, and she is doing the things. And I thought, how fun would it be if we all just focused on growing our social media, just like Kelly's having to right now? In some ways, it's almost like I feel like it's just showing support. Like, it's literally like, we're going to do this with you. We're going to do this work that we've been avoiding on some level because it is hard, but you're not going to be in the hard alone, Cal. We're going to do it with you. And so that's kind of the spirit of this challenge, is let's actually handle connecting like bosses, because we don't, for the most part. And if you do, like, and I'm saying this and it's a lie for you, then I take it back for you, okay? But most of the people I know, when we talk, they tell me they're not doing this. So, or they're not doing this to the degree they'd like to, okay? So all this says is your current number of Facebook friends and your 2-week goal. And if you don't work on Facebook, then don't have a goal there, right? Like, that's fine. Don't make a goal. And then in Instagram, it's your current number of followers and where you'd like to be in 2 weeks. That's it. I don't care if you want 10 more, 20 more, 30 more. I don't care what you want. 100 more, whatever you want. But so often we connect with no goal in mind. We set no goal for how many we're trying to increase by. And so let's be a little more strategic. Let's set a goal of how many you want to increase by. And then I made this stupid little tracker. If you like it, cool, whatever, use it. Don't use it, I don't care. Grow your business. But um basically it's got just a few things. Notice I didn't even put inviting on here. I just said make a post or a reel every day, update your story, and then document how much time you spend connecting with current people. So, meaning people who follow your story or like your crap. And then how much time you spend getting new people who currently don't follow you. That's it. Go connect, go grow, right? Just those things. Track it. I don't care if you spend 5 minutes a day. I don't care if you spend 30. I don't care what you do. What I care is that you set a goal and you work to achieve it. That's the whole purpose. And then I got to thinking and I was like, and I feel like Kelly might punch me in the face for what I'm about to say. This part she might really hate me for. I don't know. But I really got to thinking and I was like, the inviting every day. If you want to know the truth, I batch invite. Like, I might not invite for 10 days, but then I take everyone who's liked my crap for the last 10 days and all these people that I've been connecting with, and I go freaking buck wild and I invite. So I was like, so why don't I share that with the team? Why don't I share what I actually do? And maybe you'll like the idea. Maybe you won't. I don't do 3 invites a day. I don't know how to process that. My brain hurts. I just go to old posts and everyone who liked them, I invite. Like, that's how I live my life. So what if, look at the bottom. What if you just tracked people who liked your post by either writing them down or just, you can go back to the old post when you go to invite. Okay. And what if you actually track the people who are watching your story? If you don't do that, like each day, I don't care. Go write down 20 names, go write down 10. I don't care. Just track them. And then what if you kept track of all the people you grow by, the new followers in the next 2 weeks? And then when February 22nd comes, you invite all those people. You should have a big old list. You should have a nice size list. And then you can go do the Laura method and send 50 invites in a day or 75 in a day. Now, I will tell you the bad part about that is you get a lot of follow-ups at once. And if you can't manage that, then don't do the Laura method. Don't do the method that works for you. But what if you just, like, instead of doing all the things, let's do connecting really well so that in 2 weeks when you go invite for March, you can feel confident as all get out that you have like made a connection or tried to with this person, and you can feel good and you're growing your business at the same time. So that is the Connect and Grow Challenge. And I'm going to be doing it for the next 2 weeks. And if you would like to join me for the next 2 weeks, I would love to have company and see where it can get your business. So there's no like you have to do this one either, but if you want to, if you do like put in the SC thread so that we can see you working out loud and we can motivate each other. But a lot of you, I am in call after call with coaches that tell me they're inviting the same people. And I even feel that way. So let's freaking find some new people. Let's grow so you don't have to feel that way. And the only way you're going to grow is by intentionally showing up and doing the things to grow. So I think that's everything. There are 2 minutes left. Would anyone like to share any thoughts? Lori, did you take a picture already?
Laura,
Yeah.
can
Yeah.
you hear me?
Yeah.
I'm driving, so that's why I was in and out. And I was gonna say I will not punch you in the face because I do not invite every day. Like
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you. Like I do the same system. I don't think I do 75 invites in a day. I don't even have that many followers now to invite.
I
But
know.
but that is essentially what you talked about, and I want to do the challenge because that is essentially what I've been doing. Like this month, I'm like, I just have to build. I have to connect. I have to do more because I had stopped when I lost my social originally. Like I just kind of I got tired of like I was like, I don't even who am I posting to? Who am I doing? Like,
Right.
there's nobody. And so I'm trying to get more consistent with posting and then connecting, like you said, with those people and reels and things. And then I love the challenge because it's going to give me the more incentive to just connect and then invite them all for March when we have the big launch of Body. So
yay! And you're not alone. You're not doing it alone, Cal. So
yeah. So
all
I
right.
just need to get past all the creepy men and then to the big booty Judies and then hopefully find the real women that want to get help.
Right. Oh, well, I love you guys. I know it's going to cut us off, but I'm looking forward to growing this month and really just having an awesome month as a team. And happy birthday, Lori. Yay! All right. Bye, guys.